A special topic for us today.
I'm really cold because it snowed here and we were supposed to get 2 to 4. Well, we've already got about 5 inches. And so I thought I would talk about winter time back in the day. And it wasn't really cool. Or it was cool. It was really but they women in the city in the aristocrats, the women would still want to wear their muslin dresses and with their little scarves or shawls and hats, and they would get sick. They get pneumonia, and they get really sick, and some of them would die. And it got so prevalent that they called it the muslin disease.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that terrible? But if you were wealthy, you could take they would take their wingback chairs and line them in a semicircle around the fireplace. And it served a couple of purposes because it would keep the heat in. And of course, it would warm people up. Uh, Fireplaces, as you well know, are not the most perfect for heat. Most of it goes up the chimney. And so you could be standing in front of a fireplace and be freezing cold and burning up at the same time. They had screens, the vanity screens, or they're like waffles tall. They would use those to separate parts of the house, try to keep the heat inside and block off the rooms that they didn't use too much. And in the house, women would put on 3 and 4 petticoats, and then a dress, and then a wool skirt, and wool stockings, and leather shoes, and trying to keep warm. They had, if they were wealthy, they could have animal skins to keep them warm, and they had them out. So if you were going to go in a carriage, they were freezing cold, so they would take a brick or something and heat it up and then put it inside the carriage so you could get your feet warm. That was ridiculous. And then they had this. I want to show you.
Okay.
This right here is a bed warmer. And if I could get it open, it's so old. Anyway, it would open up, not like this one will. It would open up, and then they put coal or whatever inside it. And then they would put it in between the sheets, and it would get the sheets warm. The other thing they would do with their beds, they'd have these heavy velvet curtains,
Right.
like you saw in Ebenezer Scrooge. And with those heated up in the bed, that would keep the warmth in and the cold out. Even the nice homes, they had the tall ceilings, and they were the windows didn't fit really well, so it was always cold. And then if they were moderately not poor but middle class, so they might have a servant or two, and when it was cold, they would all congregate in the kitchen, the servants and the family, because they had those huge fireplaces, and a stove. So they would all congregate there, and they could read, and they'd read to the servants. They'd read stories. It's a romantic sounding era, but brother, give me my heat. I don't like the cold. I'm from Texas.
So you're gonna have to deal with it for a little bit more. So people can warm up by buying your books by going to minavalentine.com right now, right?
Yeah, they can sit in front of the fireplace and read the book to their servants.
All right. To the servants. You're gonna get in trouble there.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Mina. We'll talk next week.